Hey guys, it's TripleC, and this is Baseball Spirit 2021 for the Nintendo Switch. Wow, this is exciting. I got it from day one, and today I'm going to talk about it. Why is it so exciting? Because this is the only sim baseball game on Nintendo Switch right now, actually. And other than MLB The Show, really the only other sim baseball game they're in existence. And yeah, Konami is a really weird company, to be honest. They released Baseball Spirit series for almost every year since 2005 or 4 or something like that, and then all the way up to 2014, actually 2015 for the PlayStation 3, and then they just completely stopped. They completely stopped all the way to 2019. They released for the PlayStation 4, and then they released an update to that 2019, so 2020 was just an update to the 2019 game, and then they haven't released anything at all. All of a sudden they released the Baseball Spirit for the Nintendo Switch and not on the PlayStation platform. So what is up with that? I had no idea, but this game is actually really good. I was a little bit worried if the game is going to be sluggish, running at 30 frames or less, because it is a sim baseball game, and then the graphic, it's regarded to be pretty decent from the past. So I was a little bit worried about that, but ever since I played the very first game, I no longer worry. I mean, look at this. This is silky smooth. This is good. Look good. Just have a really quick thing. Check it out. It's really smooth gameplay. This is nice. Just a quick thing, and then we're getting to it. Come on, just let me hit something. Let's do it. Let's do it. Oh, I hit something. It's going to be a hit. Look at that fielding. Yeah, so that's really smooth gaming, and yeah, let's take it to the TV, because holding the Switch like this is actually, in front of the camera, is actually quite difficult. Alright, let's take it to the TV and we'll talk about it. It looks pretty decent on the 4K TV here. I have the 4K Samsung 55-inch. It looks good. Obviously, it's not the highest resolution. The resolution is running at 1080p, but look at that. This looks pretty okay. Smooth gameplay. Pretty realistic faces for the Japanese players. So for some of the players that I recognize, it look exactly like them, so that's pretty cool. So Baseball Spirit 2021 is Baseball Spirit 2021 and 2022. When 2022 comes, there will be an update for it, so they won't be releasing another game. They will just update this game, which is fine. I mean, the graphics is already as good as it can be, I suppose. Well, obviously for Nintendo Switch, it's running at 1080p here, but it looks pretty decent on the television. No complaints there, really. Especially when the silky smooth look like 60 frames per second. That's awesome. And yeah, there's various game modes in this, so you're not gonna get bored with it. There's so many game modes. Okay, so there's a versus mode, so obviously
バッターランゲームを作ってるわけなんですが、いいピッチャーの条件とはズバリ何でしょうか。
どうでしょうね。監督の考えてる通りにアウトを取ってくれるってことですかね。
打ちました。セカンドゴロ。セカンドが取る。アウト。ワンアウトです。
versus mode, and this is for, I'm pretty sure this is playoffs, and we got a seasons mode or franchise mode where you can play seasons, pick a team, and then this is for when you play just one single player, so you can create a player and playing in this mode and just operate that one specific player, then you will play through this player's career basically. So you can do up to 30 years. I don't know if any players will do 30 years, but yeah, but it says there is maximum 30 years. So yeah, there's a career mode, I suppose. That's what that is.
これから2回の裏に入ります。7番から始まるタイガースの攻撃。バッターはタイガース1点リードで迎える2回の攻撃です。初球空振りです。得意のボールでストライクを取りました。2球目打ちました。この当たりはどうか。先頭バッター出ました。バッターは7番。
大きくリードはしてますけど、この後どういう試合展開になるか分かりませんから、取れる時に取っておきたいですね。
さあ序盤から大きな差をつけていますが、攻撃の手は緩めません。低めの変化球空振り。3球目打ちました。ヒットになった。ホームに送球する。サードランナーホームイン。セカンドランナーも今ホームイン。追加点が入りましたタイガース。レフト前へのタイムリーヒット。7対。
And this is the Tokyo 2020 Olympics mode. Do you know there's baseball for Olympics this year for the Olympics 2020 in Tokyo? Well, yeah, so there's that. And then you also get the cushion mode. Cushion is Japanese high school summer baseball tournament, which is a big deal in Japan. And yeah, in this mode, really it's for single player, say creative player trainings to use this character in the any other modes really for career and stuff like this. So in this mode where you can create a player, you stuff on nothing, and then throughout the mode you will gain experience. If you don't do so good, you're gonna have a creative player that you can use with a pretty terrible stats. But if you did well, you can have a player with a decent stats, and then you go from there in the career mode where you can still improve all the attributes. So yeah, that's I suppose it's kind of an RPG element for the baseball game, which is really fun. I don't exactly know what it is. It's almost like playing the real life games where they have situations for you to get into, and then you're trying to achieve exactly the same as a real life situation, which is fun. You can gain experience points and those VP points you can see from the bottom, which add as a currency in the game, or you can gain items in the game and stuff like this to improve your players and teams and experience. Okay, and this here is the you play it as a manager, so this is the manager mode, and you can play it as a manager, and then you create your own team, or you use existing team, and try to win the pennant. And this is the home run derby. It's got home run derby in it, and this here is the practice mode, and this here is to activate special abilities or to improve existing players based on the items and experience points that you have or something like this. I don't know exactly how to describe it, but this is where you can check player list and then to improve certain players and stuff like that. So yeah, Baseball Spirit 2021. It's obviously a MPB, a Japanese Professional Baseball League game, and there's a lot of notable players that is in Japan League right now. For example, with the Buffaloes, you have Adam Jones there. Let me see if I can find Adam Jones. Yeah, here's Adam Jones. Adam Jones from the Orioles. It's in Japan playing for the Buffaloes. With the Eagles, you have Tanaka. With the Eagles, he left the Yankees and then came back to Japan earlier this year. I think you might be familiar with Nori Aoki from, I believe he played for the Oakland A's before. He also played for a few other teams in the past with the major leagues. Wayne Chen, for example, is playing for the Tigers. Here it is. That's Wayne Chen. He last played for the Marlins, and he left Marlins and came back to Japan and played for the Marines for a bit, which is this team, the Marines, and then they traded him to the Tigers. So let's take a look at Tokyo 2020 mode here. Tokyo 2020 Olympic baseball mode. Here you see Chinese Taipei, aka Taiwan. They actually didn't attend, but they were going to attend. They didn't end up attending, but it didn't matter. They put them there. I guess when the game was developed, they already added them in. But the uniforms are wrong, so yeah, it didn't really matter. I don't know if the USA team with the U on the hat. South Korea team looks correct. So yeah, let's take a look at this mode anyway. You can tell the player model are mostly based on Asian players. No, that's stupid. I just done the stupid. You can change the pitching view on the fly, which is cool. Hey, being dumb. Okay. Okay, so let's talk about some of the pros and cons of this game. Well, I'll start the game first and let's talk about it. Hey, look at that, that's Tanaka, cool. The visual the realism of the visual design, the graphics, yeah, it looks really good. As long as there's players that's actually in it. Okay, so let's see, what do I want to do? I want to play. Let's do. Of course, okay. I'll be the Tigers against the Giants. I'll be the away team. But I'm gonna play. Okay, let's just do that. Play at the dome. Okay, why not? So first pros of this game is the loading time. It's done. The load time is really, really quick. Obviously, the frame rate is really, really good. So that's another pro. It's got a full roster of MPB League, and and then there are updates to the roster as well, so you'll keep updated with the Japanese League. So that's good, and it will update all the way through 2022. So that's another pro. The mechanics and the physics of the game, and yeah, it's just, look at that. Pitching, silky smooth animation. Playing this game is really pleasant, and the controls are really easy as well. And then there are no, you don't have to wait around a very long time just for the animation to finish. You can skip just about all the cutscenes, right? Say now a foul ball, I can just click that away. Oh, he caught that ball. Now I can click that away. You don't have to wait for any animation. Now I can cut that away. Or if I want to pause, I can pause. And if I'll show you. Let me just hit something if I can. If it's in play, I press start. You'll see the upper left. This is time. As soon as the animation is over, you will go to time. So you can basically pause at any time, even in mid-play. You automatically go to pause as soon as that play is over. That's always been a really cool feature with the Konami baseball games, whether if it's the Baseball Spirit or if it's the Power Pros. This feature has always been really cool. I always like this feature. You know what, I'm just gonna get to the pitching. Let me just finish the inning. I get to the pitching. Let's talk about the pitching a little bit. The bunting is really easy too. You just hold the button and then you choose the direction. And yeah, depending on how you hit it, if you're succeeding or not. The replay looks really cool too. Most of the replay looks nice. Yep. Okay, so pitching. This is, I don't know the point of this, but then every single one of those Konami baseball games, you always have the start out 3 pitches practice. So you can always click that away as well. You don't have to do the practice if you don't want to. Alright, so for the pitching, for starters, the control is really cool. You have 3 different modes, or 2, well you have multiple different modes, but mostly you have the 2-click style where you choose a pitch and you press once to pitch and press the knob 10 for accuracy. So the accuracy is going to affect, of course, accuracy and how well the batter is going to hit. So that's that. And to choose your pitch is really just use the left thumbstick and choose what you want to pitch. So it's so straightforward, and that's always been one of the advantage of this. Another thing is, depending on the pitch you pick, you can actually see from the animation, the pitching animation, where the pitcher's grip, you can see the grip of that pitch. So say if I do a curveball, now pay attention to the pitcher's hand. That's the curveball grip. There we go. And then if I'm going to throw, I believe this is some kind of a sinker type pitch. Let's do that. See how it grips different? Or is that a forkball or something like that? It grips different. So yeah, it's attention to detail. That has always been one of the interesting things about Baseball Spirit. Is that attention to detail, the smooth gameplay. Alright, let me just see if I can strike him out. No, I cannot, but at least fly out. Okay. Now, with this batter come onto the play, we can talk about the cons a little bit. I think that head is a little bit too big on him. Some of the animation, it's weird. It almost feels like they have most of the things right, but it didn't seem to be very polished in some regard. For example, most of the players look normal, but this one player's got a giant head. I don't know what's up with that. But then, I got this game since July, and there haven't been any fix to that. Does the real guy have such a big head? Some of the players in the roster doesn't seem to be very accurate. Obviously, I'll be paying attention to Taiwanese players, and there are numbers of Taiwanese players in Japanese league that have already been playing with the first tiers, which kind of like the majors in the major league. But in Japan, there are 2 tiers: second tier and the first tier. They've already been playing with the first tiers, everyday player. But then in the roster, they don't seem to be updated to that. So in that regard, it felt a little bit lazy with this game. I don't know why that is. So the roster updates, they do update, but they don't update that often. So that's kind of a shame. Another thing is, it's kind of a pro and con at the same time. The difficulty of the game. There is no easy way to set the difficulty of the game. It's either too easy or too difficult. So if you like to have a casual play like I do, you can set it to regular, where it gives you a moderate difficulty. Or if you want more challenge, you can set it to hard. But you know, the pro part of it is that you can actually manually set various different configs to turn it into the difficulty that you might like. For example, other than the difficulty itself, you can set other things like how you will pitch and the pitching speed and how would the AI behave, stuff like this. And some of them will make sense in terms of difficulty. Say if you find the difficulty is a little too easy, if you're just setting the difficulties itself, and then speed things up, turn the pitching speed a little bit faster, so they make it a little bit more intense, and in that sense you'll make it a little bit more realistic, and yeah, in turn a bit more difficult but not too difficult. So there are ways to do that, but at the same time, you know, if you don't know it well enough, the game might seem to be a little bit unbalanced. So obviously another con is that it is only available for Nintendo Switch, which is kind of a shame, where if it's on PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, you could have 4K gaming with this. I mean, look at this. This looks not bad, but you would look a lot better if it's in 4K, or if the players have more shadow and a little bit more detail, make it more polished. It will be nice. But then with the Nintendo Switch, obviously, it's not going to have that much detail. As you can see here, the player models are good, but there isn't enough shadows and other effects to make it look more realistic. So that's kind of a little bit of a too bad. I don't know what Konami's thinking. They've been really weird. They released the 2019, as I said earlier, and then they went to release an Android version of this game, and you know, it only allow you to play in Japan. And then they released this all of a sudden. I'm happy about it. Now I get to play. You know, this is my go-to baseball game for any console or computer, and I'm happy about that. And I'm playing a career mode on my own creative player, and I'm doing that daily, and already on the 10th season, and that's really a lot of fun. I like the simulation part of it, or the imagination of it, you know, kind of like dreaming to be a baseball player. And then this is kind of a, you know, you can actually do that instead of just dreaming in your head. And then yeah, so that's you know what I really like about the game. So yeah, overall this game have smooth graphics, which is one of the most important thing for Switch. I think somebody had to come on and tell that the game runs good. And this game has smooth graphics, really well designed controls, responsive, and ooh, good timing for a home run. And yeah, exciting gameplay. It's just a lot of fun. Highly recommended. Just like to show you that the game is actually good on the Nintendo Switch, and it's worth the money for it. Right, so I guess that's that for this one. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you next time.